Good morning, everyone. So we're back for more Total War and another tier list. And this time it is for Bretonnia, the true French. So maybe I'm gonna keep my French accent that is very natural. No, I'm not gonna do that. Sorry. So Luen is the first, our king, King Luen. He's a true Chad, and I believe he is very, very, very strong. I love him. He's great. Just the best lord for Bretonnia. No joke, it's actually the fair enchantress, but he is just, for me, my humble opinion, is as strong as her, but he has a different role. He is more of a world beater, and just has a great synergy with like Pegasus Knights, Grail Knights, and Knights of the Realms, because these guys do not have AP, and Luen just with his abilities can reduce enemy armor, and so it's just a great synergy with this cav. And I think Luen is just incredibly strong on his own, and as strong as the fair enchantress, who is just, as everybody knows, incredibly strong, law of life, mortis engine, very hard to kill. Especially right now because the meta evolved into paladins, double paladins with the fair enchantress, which makes it even harder to kill her. And these two are just the best two lords for Bretonnia. You do not need to to go further than this. You either take the fair or you take Luen. It's a choice. They do not do the same thing, but they both of them are amazing. Alberic is more situational. I do not think he's weak. He's okay. I mean, he's an okay lord. He can buff your army with an anti-large, and on his own, he's okay. Definitely not as strong as Luen, but he is fine. And the problem is that with Bretonnia, you do need very strong lord, which is why you usually do not go for the subpar lords. And Alberic is one of them, but he can do well. With what's interesting with him is his ability to buff your allies with the anti-large, and the fact that he has a big leadership bomb with the Wrath of Manan. His trident, it's pretty good. Does some damage, and yeah, can do some nice leadership bomb on like greenskins or Skaven. Very good, especially greenskins. It's probably his best matchup, but against greenskins, I play Luen. So yeah, you can play the fair as well, obviously. I mean, Jeanne d'Arc, Joan of Arc. She's kind of weak. She has a big problem with her attacks because she has stupid Knights of Christine Knights animations, and she has big trouble hitting something on her left. So if she gets stuck in a fight, she's gonna have trouble with her animations and stuff. It's gonna be ugly, and most of the time, she's actually gonna die. She's supposed to be a good duelist, but she's gonna lose most of her duels, and she's kind of sad, really. The only good thing about her is that she is cheap. One good thing. Second good thing is that she's gonna buff your allies a lot. It's like +9/+9 with her stuff, her ability. It's pretty crazy, and it's the main reason why you pick her is to buff your cav with that stuff, or your infantry. Pretty good, and you're gonna have to get her with like Henry or Paladin, so she can pack up a more of a punch, or the Green Knight. She can do that. But she's weak. She's not totally helpless, but she's almost helpless. Really, she needs love. She needs a lot of love. Come on, CA, do something. Same for this guy. He's very weak. His stats are abysmal, even on Hippogriff. He's just horrible. This guy is horrible. He used to be good on Warhammer 1 like a long time ago, but that's when the lords had self-healing with like potions and stuff. Now this guy is just very sad. Very sad. Do not pick that guy. Never. Do not pick him. Better pick Luen or Alberic. Alberic is a better generic lord, basically. So yeah, nothing much to say. Do not pick this guy. He's bad. Needs some love. The prophetess of the lady. Prophetess of the lady is kind of okay. She's kind of okay, I guess. But nothing special, really. She's a whatever. She's cheap and she can cast spells safely from her Pegasus, which is usually not what you care about. You do, like I said, you do need a strong lord as Bretonnia. You do need two things as Bretonnia, or three things. Strong cav, strong lord, and archer support. That's what you need. It's very simple, and your front line to actually hold with a good mix of things. We'll talk about that later, but yeah, she's okay. Nothing special, I would say. Not even core, because you definitely do not want her always. She's not weak, she's just whatever. This guy, I put him in core even though he is not available for Bretonnia right now, but I preemptively do that because in Warhammer 3 he's gonna be in the roster, and this guy is the paladin on steroids, so I'm actually gonna put him in strong because he's very cool. He is very cool and gonna be a great asset for Bretonnia in game 3, and I'm super hyped to be able to play Luen with freaking Le Massif and healing. Just holy crap, it's gonna be great. Oh, with the Fae, because this guy is a hippogriff lord or hero, and Luen as well. It's just wow, so cool. Right now he's stuck with the Jeanne d'Arc, so yeah, it's not the best combo. This little Gilles Le Breton is cool. He's cool. Can be good. Very, very weak to magic damage right now. Again, in Warhammer 3, it's gonna change because magic attacks will not go through physical resistance, which is great. And that's gonna be just wow. Gonna change a lot of things for our little Green Knights here. Because he will only die to spells, which are usually what kills him anyway. He's not amazing. He's still a lord. I can call him a lord on horse, and he gets stuck a lot. But he's a good duelist. He can do a lot. But yeah, right now the problem is magic damage. When we get to game 3, he's gonna be pretty good. But you do not always want him. He's pretty expensive and he's good for a goon squad, or yeah, just if you want a good duelist that is not Luen or Le Massif. The whatever spell you want, life, beast, heaven, lol. You do not pick heaven. Heaven is like here. But the rest is core. You're gonna pick life always. Most of the time. So yeah, not much to say about her. She's good. You do need magic. Do not forget magic. Paladins, very strong right now, especially with the Fae. These guys are very good at killing large, and they are very cheap. Even on horse, they are very cheap. And you take 2 of them with the Fae, or you take 1 with Luen. Maybe. Pretty expensive. Usually you do not do that, but you can. You can do that with the her, maybe, or with the Alberic on horse. It gets you little goon squad on horse. It's pretty good. And yeah, Paladin is strong. Strong guy. Felix. Felix, I do not like Felix. I think he's weak. On his own is not great. He can do a goon squad with other foot lords, foot heroes, but usually goes with Gotrek, because Gotrek is actually okay. I think Gotrek is good but expensive, which makes him just a situational, very situational pick. And I think Felix is actually weaker, a lot weaker, and most of the time you will actually pick Gotrek. Whatever healer you get, probably the Fae, Gotrek, and maybe a Paladin, or a Massif later. And that's gonna be a pretty good goon squad to have. especially if all of these guys would be on foot, because they're gonna have to work together, and Godrek is stuck on foot. Same for Felix. So that's what I think. Felix is a bit weak right now. These guys, core, 100 gold chaff, great unit. Just nothing much to say about them. They are great. Probably too strong. But they are not strong. So they are just core. They could cost 125. Something like that. Same for these guys. I would just put two of them at the same time. These two, 250. It's usually what will compose your front line. You get 4 or 5 peasant mobs, and then 4 or 5 of these guys mixed, maybe more. And it's gonna cost you nothing, and it's gonna give you a lot of bodies in your front line. It's gonna be great. The thing is, you can pick them with the silver shields and more melee defense. The thing is, you do not want to spend that much money into trash infantry most of the time. There are a few matchups where these guys will be good. Let's say against Tomb Kings, these guys will trade a lot better against the infantry than without shields. And if you get shot, let's say against Wood Elves, it's not too bad, but you can see that every Bretonnian player will still pick these guys and these guys without the shields, because it is simply not worth 75 gold more on trash infantry that is anyway going to die to dryads, wild riders, or whatever. They're just here to soak damage and cost you as less gold as possible. Yeah, that's the idea. But yeah, not too bad. I would say they are kind of in a weird place, because if you only pay 50 gold for the shield, you will always pick these guys. But for 75, it's tough. It's a tough choice to make, and I think it's always worth it not taking the shield. So, these guys, pretty situational, pretty okay as an halberd unit. Nothing amazing, but they can hold pretty well. They have AP, great in tie large. A few matchups where they will be good. There are a few matchups, and these guys are okay. But you will not see them always. The Pilgrims are actually pretty good, and you can see them in all the matchups, actually, because they are simply what I said about them. These guys, they are the shielded men at arms that you want, but level up to actually beat the enemy infantry. As long as this is not higher infantry than chaff. So these guys will beat the chaff of the enemy, and lower tier infantry, which is great. Which is sometimes what you will need to actually get on top. If your infantry can win, then it suddenly turns the game, because Bretonnia will very often lose the infantry game. It's just going to be a matter of time. But if you get the Pilgrims, it can change that, and then you are free to do whatever you want with your cav. And yeah, Pilgrims are very strong. I mean, not an amazing unit, just very reliable, and you should take them. These guys, very strong Pilgrims as well, but they are very specific, quite expensive, and they have no shields, magic damage, and fire damage. Very good damage dealers that are very specific targets. So targets with physical resistance, and targets with no fire, fire weakness. So if you can target, let's say, skin wolves, these guys are just gonna murder them right now, because they counter them 100%. Which obviously, like I said before, won't be the case in Warhammer 3, because magic damage will not go through physical resistance. But the fire damage is what makes them very good. And right now, obviously the magical damage as well. They're just very good damage dealer. You pick these guys in a few matchups. Let's say I like them against Dark Elves, against Noska, against green skins. So yeah, pretty good targets. A lot of matchups where you can pick them, and you should try them. Foot squires, pretty weak. Pretty weak. You will. They need some help. They need some love. They would do. They would need to be more painful to your enemies. They need to do more damage, and they could. They are almost there. They are almost there, but they need some love. They're almost situational, but a bit weak right now. I would say they just need a little something, but it gives you some kind of armor into your front line that is not what every other infantry is, which is quite interesting, and especially when you get the our version that is actually better and will give you a better halberd than these guys, and very good if you get them in the center of your army of your infantry is going to be a very good wall to have, something that will hold a lot for a long time. It's good armor, halberd, interlarge, just a pretty good unit. Nothing amazing, but you can pick them. I like, usually in my Bretonnian armies, I end up with like the chaff, maybe one or two of these guys, and these two. These two here. These two guys are just what makes Bretonnian infantry special. So yeah. Now the archers. Just these guys are actually they are core and very strong. All of them. Just all of them are very strong. The basic archers, they cost you 400. They always do 800 value, more, 1k, just amazing. Then you mix some box arrows in there, just wow. It's gonna do just some ravaging damage, nerfing your enemy, and if you are facing stuff with a fire problem, you get the fire arrows, and I mean it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You're gonna do a lot of damage. You usually take between 3 and 5 archers in most Bretonnian armies, and they are gonna do very well. Yeah. These guys, keep in mind, have less AP than the regular archers, and they have more damage, but way less AP. Like they have 1 AP, so do not fire at armor targets with them. Just fire at whatever else, but no armor targets. So yeah, the Monty Python stuff. It's weak. It's weak. Pretty useful, but quite expensive for what it does. The effect is nice. You would like them to be better and less expensive, but the effect is very good for a Bretonnian army. I would pay 300 for that. But yeah, it's pretty expensive right now, and I do not have the funds to pay for such a thing just to get a leadership boost for my front line that is just here to hold and die anyway. So it's gonna make them hold faster, I mean longer. But for it's like 400, something like that. I forgot the price, but for 400 you get actually a lot more infantry. So the idea here is that it's just too expensive to be worth it, I think, in most armies. These guys, for 400, not too bad, but a little bit weak, a little bit, just a little bit. And situational, just a good situational light cav that is actually pretty weak to a lot of stuff. The only good targets will be archers. I'm not even sure they beat dogs. Probably they do. I hope they do. Maybe I'm wrong about these guys and they are more situational and actually in a decent spot. I do not play them enough to be sure, but I like them to. I like them in the back of the enemy. If you can hide them in woods, they can do some interesting stuff in the enemy backline. So you should try them, maybe 1 or 2. Make your own idea about these guys, and you will let me know, because I do not play them much, but I think they are a little weak, just but interesting still. Interesting unit because they have a shield. So they can potentially soak a lot of damage, especially if they can protect your backline from skirmishers. They're pretty interesting. So yeah, not that bad. But I would like some kind of love this unit. Now the Knights Errants. Knights Errants are pretty cool. Just standard armored 700 shock cav. Nothing amazing about them. They are just simply put, they are better foot squires. They're just gonna cycle charge. They give you some mass, some punching power. For cheap, it's good against infantry. Against higher tier cav, they are not gonna do so well. So yeah, decent, can be used against many factions, and yeah, it's fine. Now the hour is actually as well core because it's very strong, stronger. They have silver shield, and which makes them quite special. And as you can see, many Bretonnian players will play them in most of their armies, and because simply this is a good unit. They got nerfed. The prices went up recently, and which makes them probably more situational. I would put them in core still. I want to play them a little more, but yeah, they are pretty strong, very resilient to archer fire. Can soak a lot of fire, and yeah, pretty interesting unit. Now the knights, regular knights of the realm. Just what can you say about this? It's just a great unit. Just a great unit. The basics of any Bretonnian army. Just a strong cav. Probably the strongest cav for the price in all the game. 950, just anti-large, good charge, good armor. So all of these guys do not enjoy staying in combat, not too much, especially the Knights Errant. All of these just want to cycle charge, and they will do well. So yeah, very good unit. The Lionhearted are more situational, but as well strong unit. There are a few things going for them: the fire damage, the encourage, and magical damage. Actually, they have magical damage, not fire damage, and which makes them like little Grey Knights for 300 less. Against Wood Elves, they are very interesting to have because of the just how good the base unit is, and the fact that you simply get rank 9 and magical damage. Sorry, magical damage for 300. Very good unit. Obviously, you do not want them always because you specifically take them for the magic damage right now, which I think is going to be a problem in Warhammer 3. These guys will need something else to be worth it. So yeah. Now the Questing Knights. Questing Knights are quite strong. Questing Knights are quite strong. Again, one very good base of... I'm torn between putting them in core and strong. But the Questing Knights are strong against everything right now. They are strong against monsters, against cav, against infantry because they have AP, high damage, and only cost you 1100. They even have very decent charge and can even work with a cycle charge. So yeah, interesting unit and very strong right now. The thing is, I still prefer most of the time to take the Knights of the Realm, but that's probably because I play Luen more and because the synergy is better and they are cheaper. But if you play the Fae and then you might lack some AP damage, then you are probably gonna lean more into Questing Knights. So both are very strong. I just think the Questing Knights are a little stronger right now. So yeah, put that here. The Hour strong as well. Hour strong as well. I would actually put them more in situational. They got nerfed. The price got nerfed. Now they cost as much as a Grail Knight, and I think this is too much. Okay, they are very strong. Nothing to say about that. Rank 9, anti-large, just the base stuff of... And they have physical resistance. They have the blessing of the lady as well. Just, but it makes them just a great target. I wonder if I want to put them in strong of situational, because when I play Bretonnia, I end up not playing these guys that much. Only when I think there is big monsters or big cavalry problem for me, that I do need stronger cav. Maybe I put these guys, but they are very strong. They are very strong. I just think the price doesn't make them that strong right there. So yeah, I would put them right here. Strong cav, but I would not pick them always like I would do with these two, the basics. The Grey Knights. Grey Knights, I love them. I just love the Grey Knights. I think it's a great unit, but you do not always pick them, obviously. There are very specific targets, which are cav and monsters. Obviously, they do not have great AP. They have magic damage, interlarge, and good armor, but they can get dragged down or killed by missiles, cannons, and stuff. And most of the time, you will fear that kind of firepower, and you will go with the basic cav. Spamming the basic cav will do a lot more than Grey Knights, but like against the vampire counts, I go all the way with the Grey Knights, Grey Guardians, hell yeah, Grey Guardians and these guys, because they are not gonna get shot, and they can go all in into the other cav of the vampire counts, which are just the strongest cav in the game, and you do need your elite cav to go toe-to-toe with them. So you do need your grails there. So the Grey Guardians, quite special one. They are not weak. You do see them a lot less than the other calves, just because they are very specific frontline units, kinda tanky. They are your tanks. Basically, they are your tanks, and they work very well with the Fae, because they're gonna soak so much damage for her. And you can even replace the paladins with one unit of these guys, and yeah, they're gonna grind. They're gonna grind a lot of stuff, and if they do not get destroyed by artillery, cannons, and stuff like that, guns, or very specific monsters that are gonna destroy them, your Grail Guardians can do a lot of work. It's a great unit, just quite expensive and dangerous to bring to the field. So now we've got quite a special one. The regular Pegasus Knights. I would say the regular Pegasus Knights are very situational. I like them in a few matchups, and especially the main thing is to win the air. Obviously, they are incredibly strong in the air. They are very weak to Tempest. It's gonna kill them, sadly. And but if they do not get hit by Tempest or missiles, they can just do wreak havoc in the air. And if you can get some rear charges, like let's say you take a calf fight with these guys, your Luen or whatever, you get in the rear with these guys, they're gonna do so much. Because if you can sandwich anything between Knights and Pegasus Knights, it's gonna hurt. And these guys for 1100 give you a great tactical flexibility, I would say. These guys are 1600, and I think they are quite weak. I mean, it's not a weak unit, it's a stronger version of Pegasus Knights. They have physical resistance. Like the Grails, they have perfect vigor, which is an amazing ability, but it comes at a cost. And yeah, physical resistance. It's just 1600. They are still squishy. Pegasus Knights are still kind of they have hard time hitting stuff sometimes. They get stuck on the ground. If you get them into one bad situation where they get stuck, you're gonna lose them. And losing 1600 a unit like this is very, very rough. But obviously they are just incredibly strong. I would pick them like into vampire counts once again, because it's like a trump card. If you can destroy the enemy in the air with the lord or monsters, these guys are what you need. Not these guys. These guys with Luen are just gonna shred anything in the air and very strong. But I put them into weak because they are too expensive, I believe. I would like them to cost 1500 or 1450 maybe. 1600 is too much, and it's too much of a risk to pay so much into that. You better pick Grey Knights at this cost, or Grey Guardians. Hippogriff Knights, they're pretty okay unit. I really love them as well. I love the Bretonnian roster. It's just so cool. All these knights, flying knights and monsters. I mean, horses mostly. But the Hippogriff Knights are pretty cool. They do get stuck as well. They are very big targets, and you do need regrowth. You're gonna need regrowth if you take these guys. And I do enjoy them with like Fae, because they give you some extra punch into any cav fight you're gonna take. And they're gonna give you terror. And terror is very interesting in this game. You do not need them if you take Luen, because obviously he is a Hippogriff Lord, and he's gonna put terror into stuff and very expensive. So yeah, if you take Fae and you want terror, you can get these guys. Until you can get this guy, then you will just pick him on a Hippogriff. So yeah, cool unit. I like them into green skins, mostly chaos, and I guess that's it. They are quite weak to missiles, obviously. So yeah, be careful with them. Into what matchup you're gonna pick them, and they will do a good number. Yeah. So missile cav, they are decent. They are just an okay missile cav, especially the Awa. Awa is pretty interesting, and usually, if you are afraid that your archers are gonna get destroyed, let's say against beastmen, I do pick like 3, 4, or even 5 of these guys against beastmen, because archers will just die most of the time. You can pick them against greenskins and stuff. It's a fairly good DPS. Definitely not as good as a regular bowman. Lower range, and but it's interesting to have this mobile pew pew, and especially if you add the ROR to it, they will give you the pox arrows and the poison. So that's pretty good. You should try them. They are not that bad. Now the trebs. Trebs are not bad. Just yeah, pretty good. Pretty good stuff. But yeah, a lot of the Bretonnian roster is quite situational. The trebs are one of them. The trebs are good if you take like 3 of them, maybe 2. They can kill enemy artillery, they can kill enemy cav, destroy their archers, their tight formations, and it's pretty interesting to have. I could almost put them into core. I'm thinking right now. Do you want... No, you do not always pick the trebs. That's the idea. It's an option you have, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good, but they are not gonna fit all of your strategies, and are not gonna be good into all the matchups. So yeah, now the last one, the blessed trebuchet. The last trebuchet is like kind of weak. Yeah, he's kind of weak. I mean, it's better technically than the regular trebuchet, but for the price you pay. So the thing is, it got more single target damage and less splash, and it's quite funny. It does technically no less friendly fire, but the only thing it does with the non-friendly fire is that the splash is not doing friendly fire. If the big boulder goes into your knight is gonna die. So yeah, it still does friendly fire. Yeah, it's expensive. It's like his best target is actually Demigriff, because it's gonna one-shot the Demigriff, which is not the case of these guys. And that's it. Uh, it's expensive and doesn't really have a place. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think it does. It's more. I do not think it's more accurate. Pretty sure it's not. And yeah. I guess that's it. We are done with the Bretonnian. Bretonnians, the lady is proud of you and is proud of me. And yeah, I do think Bretonnia will be better in game 3 because of this guy. Gonna be pretty interesting. And I do hope we see the landing. Actually, the landing is gonna be pretty interesting for them because of the pegs and the hippogriff. It's gonna be cool. Really eager to see that. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I will be back next time for an Empire. Empire is gonna be spicy. And yeah. So please leave a like if you liked. Leave a dislike if you did not. And follow if you did not. Follow me. I will come back eventually to this game. And yeah. See you guys very soon. And have a good one. Bye-bye.